At the shelter, they called this cat mean and were convinced he didn't even know how to meow. But as it turned out, his silence was hiding something deeper, and the first person he ever trusted was someone he chose himself. A married couple, Lacey and Marcus, had a hard time moving forward after losing their cat, who'd lived with them for 17 years. At first, they avoided even thinking about getting another pet. But as time passed, Lacey started feeling she might be ready for another cat. Marcus wasn't ready yet and suggested waiting at least a year, but eventually, Lacey convinced him to just visit the shelter and look around. Once there, among many animals, one cat immediately caught their attention. He was sitting completely by himself, away from everyone else, almost like he was deliberately avoiding contact. A shelter worker told Lacey and Marcus that the cat had recently been picked up off the street and nobody had managed to connect with him. The staff considered him aggressive and simply labeled him mean. It had reached the point where if nobody took him in within the next few days, they planned to release him back outside. Despite those warnings, Lacey decided to take a chance and stepped closer to pick him up. She gently took the cat in her arms, hoping to get at least a small reaction. But almost immediately, he jumped down and moved away, clearly uninterested. Yet as soon as Marcus picked him up, the cat instantly relaxed. He settled comfortably on Marcus's lap, curled up calmly, as though he'd been waiting for this exact person all along.
It looks like Marcus got a cat.
The connection between them happened within seconds, and the couple quickly realized the cat had made his choice. They took him from the shelter and named him Jaxs. But the real surprise awaited Lacey and Marcus once they got home, when this supposedly difficult cat began to open up. From the very first day at home, Jaxs shattered all the previous ideas about him being a mean cat. He turned out to be incredibly calm and affectionate, acting as if he'd always lived in their home.
Good. Good morning.
Lacey and Marcus never saw any of the aggression the shelter had warned them about. Jaxs became especially attached to Marcus. Every morning, as soon as Jaxs heard Marcus's footsteps, he'd rush after him into the bathroom, patiently waiting until Marcus finished getting ready. Gradually, this became their special morning ritual, one Lacey and Marcus couldn't imagine their mornings without. As Jaxs continued adjusting, more of his unique characteristics began showing up. In his new home, Jaxs never meowed at all. Lacey started worrying something might be wrong with his voice. Additionally, the couple noticed his tail was oddly curved, as if it had been broken. But during a checkup, their vet reassured them it wasn't painful or uncomfortable for Jaxs. It was likely something he'd had since birth. Then one day, when they'd almost accepted the silence as normal, Jaxs meowed for the first time. His meow was so quiet and gentle that initially, Lacey and Marcus were somewhat taken aback. As Jaxs grew older though, more aspects of his personality became clearer. He became playful, energetic, and curious, almost like a teenager. But one habit of his still puzzled Lacey and Marcus. Every night, Jaxs leaves their bedroom, ignores the soft beds and cozy spots they provided, and chooses to sleep directly on the hard living room floor. No amount of persuasion or attempts to make him more comfortable have ever worked. Watching Jaxs today, it's hard for them to believe that anyone ever considered this gentle, loving cat mean and was ready to send him back out onto the street. Because Jaxs didn't just find a home, he chose his own person, showing everyone who he truly was.